All right, people. The Seattle Overload podcast, your Seattle Seahawks podcast, where we're going to be looking at safety Rayshawn Jenkins. Apologies if I sound a bit snuffly. I have a slight cold, but I'll live. Now, before we talk Rayshawn Jenkins, we also have some press conference stuff, given that the Seahawks have decided to change their practice schedule, which is kind of interesting. We can explore that. And also, Macdonald spoke about Devon Witherspoon, so yeah. I've just read what Mike Macdonald said about cancelling an OTA to go to the military base. We can talk about that also. But before all of that Seahawks stuff, Griff.
Matty, do you like Cheez-Its?
Well, so Griff was he's munching on these, and Cheez-Its are I can get very talkative about, and I'm about to.
Opinionated. Okay.
Yes. So.
Well, hold on a second. This can only go one or two ways because you're clearly very partial about this. You either love them or hate them.
You know me so well.
And I know you guys love cheese over there, so I have a hunch. I have a hunch that they're like a blight.
I hate Cheez-Its.
Oh, fuck.
I hate them. They are trash. They taste like cardboard. So I was flying back from Mobile, Alabama after my second Senior Bowl, and it could well be that I was way too tired palate-wise, and I'd also burnt my palate with Red Bull and maybe another drink in there as well. Thanks, Bryce Rossler, for that recommendation. But regardless, the Cheez-Its, I was really hungry. I hadn't eaten. I was really tired, and I was getting ready to fly back to the UK, which involves going out of the relatively small Mobile airport to Atlanta airport, connecting flights, all that stuff. I was like, I'll get myself some snacks. I haven't eaten at all. I've just woke up in time for my flight. I'll get myself some snacks. Wow, Cheez-Its look good. You know what? A cheesy, savory snack? That sounds fantastic. So I got a big cardboard carton of them. You know what I'm talking about?
Oh, yeah.
I never throw food away. But I threw I had two, and then was like, these don't taste good. I had a couple more just for benefit of the doubt. I was like, these are really bad. And then I had maybe one more, and then tossed the whole cardboard carton in the trash, as you guys would say, because they're trash. That's where they belong. Now, in this country, we have something called mini cheddars.
Mini cheddars, okay.
I would urge you, if you are able, to get your hands on some. Mini cheddars are excellent, and I think I may be speaking from a cheese snack bite position of privilege.
Sure.
Where you poor Americans, all you have is the Jen, don't pull that with me. Jen, that'll get you a band hammer.
No.
Griff, there's a layup joke you could take there about my knowledge of boxes and what a box is, but perhaps we're more PG. Anyhow, yeah. So Cheez-Its not a fan, but I'm willing to try them again. It could be this was a bad batch, an Alabama batch. Could be that the cardboard box, there you go, Jen, had tainted it somehow. Oh,
Zuckman just made a great point. I agree with that 1,000%. I have noticed that.
I've noticed that Cheez-Its quality varies a lot now. They used to be much better and consistent in the past. So I must have had a bad batch.
I remember being addicted to them when I was in my youth. And then I stopped eating them for a long time. And now I have a more complicated relationship with Cheez-Its.
Don't take this the wrong way. You look like the type of person who would be addicted with Cheez-Its in their youth.
Well, what does that even mean? What does that mean?
I'm just putting it out there. See what the chat think.
Just like a delinquent, just being a
cheesy boy.
Goblin eating Cheez-Its.
A goblin, yeah.
Now, don't get me wrong. I love high quality cheese. I know that they're not intended to be like a gourmet item. They're a snack item.
Mm.
Most snack items are not that good, if you think about it. But yeah, dude,
No,
I put
they're
some
not.
Cheez-Its down.
And especially like you can get bougie or like
Like bougie potato chips or potato crisps.
right, they're very good. But to find a snack which you could get in a gas station, in an airport, anywhere, in multiple states or multiple counties, yeah. The thing with Cheez-Its as well is they looked really good. Like the appearance of
Yeah,
it was very. I was like, this is gonna be so damn good, and it was bad, like really
yeah,
bad.
yeah, yeah.
Are you
Um,
familiar with a cheese twist?
yeah, yep,
Yep.
yeah,
Big,
definitely.
big. I'm a big cheese twist man.
Yeah, those are solid. Cheez-Its. I didn't really like the cheese puff whole thing with Jumbo. Um, like I know
Oh, cheese
Cheetos
puffs,
had
cheese balls. Hell no,
they
that's
get
weird.
old fast. Speaking for myself.
No, that's just weird. I just don't
Yeah,
eat them.
yeah.
Oh,
Um,
Jen asking, did you get free Reese's at the Senior Bowl? Oh heck yeah.
yeah, you did. I remember
Oh
those.
yeah, Jen, you get tons. Yeah. Jim Nagy, they do a great job out at the Senior Bowl taking care of the media.
Yeah, that's right. They do. Now, Maddie, have you been keeping up to date with the Acolyte? Have you been watching the Acolyte?
No.
No, no, that's surprising.
Now, Griff, are you looking forward to the
Have you
start
watched?
of the European Championships?
Have you watched Master and Commander? Have you watched Children of Men? No,
No.
I don't think so. Well, we'll work on that. We'll work on that. And no, I'm not watching the PGA. Did you say PGA? Did you say golf, or are you talking about
The
soccer?
European Championships, the
Oh,
Euros.
and
Have you not caught
what are
Euro
those?
fever?
What is all of that
So
exactly?
now it might be quite confusing to you because yes, Brexit was a thing, and kind of preempting that comment. But there's the European Soccer Championships where all the teams who've qualified out of Europe compete with each other and then have a tournament, and then the winner is champion. England have never won this tournament. England have not won a major trophy since 1966, their only major trophy. But
Wow.
this is the year, Griff. This is the year that football's going to come home. And yeah, tomorrow it all
Oh, this is
starts
the
with
one. Okay.
Germany, Scotland. But yeah, you're going to get lots of well, your time it will be about 1 p.m., 2 p.m. You're going to get lots of messages from me
Yeah,
talking about it coming
we're
home and
saying it's
Gareth
coming.
Southgate being the one. And
I
yeah,
I remember this. I remember this last year.
yeah. So
Question
it's sort
for
of an
you.
every 2 year deal.
Yeah,
So
yeah,
just know that it's okay.
it's coming on.
Yeah,
Okay. Um.
I might even sing to you.
All right. I have been serenaded by you actually with regards to this. Okay, Matt, I have a question for you. What is the which nation produces the best soccer players per capita? Who's regarded? Is it
Per
like
capita,
Spain, Germany, England?
uh, Croatia would be a pretty good shout.
Okay.
Uruguay,
Argentina?
no, per capita.
Yeah, but
Yeah, I mean, yeah, Argentina is a good one. But
hmm,
like Uruguay has no one in it, and for a while they were very good.
yeah. And you think that's just like
They're not anymore though.
you think it's like cultural reasons
Well, this is a very interesting
or like
topic, and
socioeconomic ones?
I'd love to know how this impacts. I guess basketball is a better analogy because it's a more kind of fluid game where there's more,
Yeah,
where it's not all like regimented set pieces where you're just running your plays on like football.
yeah,
But in soccer, because of the money and how kind of academied it's become, and players going to, they get picked up early and then they're put in a structure.
yeah,
There's almost a problem with the European players being produced, or it's a strength but it's a weakness where now they're so kind of robotic and trained to be in the positions that they can't almost think for themselves, and the kind of improvisational brilliance of their play has been diminished in exchange for them being kind of tactically aware, tactically smart, or tactically obedient, meaning they're versatile, as in they can play in lots of different roles and different areas of the field. But in terms of their ability to pick the ball up and take it down the field, dribble past two people, and create for themselves, that has somewhat been lost. Whereas, where does that type of skill get honed? Well, it's on the back streets, where you're a street footballer and you're just out there playing with your mates, and you're finding ways to improvise, and generally it is and there's studies done into this. Generally, it's poorer nations, or poorer elements of the population which produce those players.
That makes sense.
And so I guess with basketball, in America, it's only really a one. Well, no, basketball is an international game, but I guess maybe that's not so much of a problem because there's so much expression in basketball.
Yeah. I imagine those other countries that you mentioned.
Put them in academies.
Right. Those other, the countries you mentioned where it's like ease of access and stuff, there aren't other sports like leeching from the soccer population either.
Right. And yes, like soccer, you can play with a tennis ball, right? But I guess that's why I've always thought basketball would be the most obvious. I guess you need to. The point is you need the hoop.
You need the hoop, yeah.
Whereas soccer, you can literally use jumpers.
You're right. You can put tape on a brick wall and say this is our goal.
Yep.
Interesting stuff. All right. I love it. Hit it, Matty.
Gash saying the Faroe Islands is ranked first per capita. For what, though? Like, just producing professional football players? Or
like per population, per person?
Yeah, but ranked first in what? Because, I mean, the Faroe Islands...
Yeah, depending on... Yeah.
Very good flag. I'd like to visit them one time. Wear like a sweater and try and catch fish and get really cold. And then drink whiskey. Yeah. Anyway.
All right. This is where you hit it.
Welcome to the Seattle Overload podcast, where Griffin and I are kicking off our free agents film review. So we're going to take a look at the Seahawks 2024 free agency class. That's going to include guys they re-signed, like the star attraction Leonard Williams. It's also going to include the outside free agents that they brought in to be a part of this new Mike Macdonald era, including tonight's prospect, we'll go with that, Rayshawn Jenkins, the safety, most recently with the Jacksonville Jaguars. And yeah, we'll share our kind of initial thoughts on that, what we're expecting to see from his game, which is going to be the Baltimore Ravens study, and then how he's going to fit in the defense, all that projection, all that good stuff.
Are we doing the Ravens game, not the Bucks game?
Yes.
Okay. Cool.
Is that okay with you?
You know what? I'll allow it.
The eagle-eyed listener, watcher will have paid attention to the thumbnail, which is Lamar Jackson throwing an interception to Rayshawn Jenkins.
Very interesting. Okay. How about that?
Eh? But before that, massive Seahawks news. I said the eagle-eyed listener, didn't I? That's, yeah.
The eagle-eared listener works.
Jumbo does point out a good point there. Hey,
look. I mean, that works for the audio, but you can't hear a thumbnail. You can only see a thumbnail.
Yeah, I think... Okay, fine.
You know what? I liked where you were going with that, though.
Never mind. The Seahawks have opened up $7.4 million in salary cap space by restructuring defensive lineman Dre'Mont Jones' contract, Griff. I mean, come on now. It's not a Super Bowl trophy, but we're getting there.
It's housekeeping stuff, right? Because they still have to they want to get under the cap and or have a like emergency reserve for little tiny moves they have to make here and there. I don't see this as them actually signaling anything.
Oh, well, there's me getting excited, and then you come with a heavy dose of realism.
But Justin Simmons is still out there.
Right. Yeah. No, it is for wiggle room, and yeah, his 2025 cap numbers increased by nearly $2.5 million, and they've added 2 void years to the contract, which hold $4.9 million salary cap charges. Maybe it signifies a bit more that Jones isn't gonna, he's not gonna be traded. That's not to say that they haven't explored that possibility, but to me, it means he's going to stick on the team this year, and they're going to see how that works out. But yeah, and it also gives them the flexibility to make a move. Justin Simmons still feels too rich to me. I know he's a talented safety. It would be a cool idea. I know the safety position league-wide isn't valued as highly as other positions, so it might be surprisingly affordable. That comes off more to me as though he ain't wanting to do this part of the off season for the money that he's being offered right now. And I think a more needy team, or even a team who feels they want to pay a safety a bit more than Seattle does, I just think he'll have a better suitor for him rather than Seattle.
Agreed.
But obviously, Quandre Diggs is still out there. Like, there's some other safety options. Where there isn't options or obvious options at least, is inside linebacker.
Yeah, and it might be trying to recreate linebacker play in the aggregate via dime packages and playing a lot of like buzz rotation where you got a safety in the hook and stuff, right?
Right. And do you know what buzz rotation goes well with, Griff?
Merlot, what?
Merlot. No, nickel bear.
Oh, yeah, it sure does, man. It's that was a great.
Do you remember that?
I do. Imagine the nickel bear buzz defense with like 2 like elite D linemen. You could defend anything.
Well, I was watching
nothing you couldn't defend on the. God.
Really random, but I was watching Jags fan Dilla, shout out Dilla, and John Shipley talking Jags, and they were playing Madden while doing it, which is a good idea. Mm-hmm. And John Shipley was running the Seahawks defense, and he was playing nickel bear. So even the 2023 Seahawks couldn't, but John Shipley could. So he knows more than that era. Oh well. Right. So we heard from Mike Macdonald today. We heard from Mike Macdonald yesterday. He revealed that even though the Seahawks had mandatory minicamps scheduled tomorrow, he's told the guys that we're not going to practice, that we're done for our spring program. Just really couldn't be happier with the effort. That's what I was telling them. The effort, the intent, the energy, the attitude, all the things we're asking them to do. They responded every day. I'm just really excited about where we're at. We've been going at it here. We had the extra week with the new staff and everything. Felt like it was an opportunity to get out of here healthy and have a great off-season. And that is the good point, that new coaching staffs are afforded a bit more practice time with the NFL rules. Griff, though, even with that extra week that the NFL allows the new coaches, the new regimes, is this not slightly surprising to you that they're missing a day of practice, given Macdonald's attention to detail, his teaching?
Right. You'd think that a new staff, when everyone is new to everybody, that they'd want to squeeze out every second from available practice time that the league allows as possible, right? But given that assumption, for them to be like, we're actually good at this point in the process, must be a good sign for how well players are picking it up, right? I mean, what else do you draw from that? So,
So he also revealed that the Seahawks, um, when they decided not to do their last OTA of last week, they cancelled it to go to a military base. He said it was, hey, let's change it up. Go hang out with the troops for a day. That was the thought, which is where there's a amazing picture of Geno Smith holding a very high caliber looking gun. So
Yeah,
great.
I hope that I can play him in COD.
Yeah,
Otherwise,
he's an operator.
otherwise, what's the point? I want the
Right,
Geno skin.
right. Griff, anything else that came out from this for
No,
you?
I like how I like McDonald's comments about Devon Witherspoon, basically just saying like, yeah, this guy's a football genius. Um, I mean, I thought they were just drafting an elite cover corner, man. I had no idea that they were drafting like basically if you put Earl Thomas's brain in Devon Witherspoon's body, like what do you get? You get what we saw last year from a rookie. Did some really heady stuff. So, and McDonald mentioned how like they kind of have the Devon Witherspoon role, which seems like some zone nickel, some man nickel, and some outside corner, right?
Yeah, that's going to be so fun. Obviously, what McDonald was able to do with Kyle Hamilton and how he was playing some safety and base, playing the strong safety, and then when they got into the sub package nickel world, which they ran 79% of the time, um, Hamilton moved into the slot. Obviously, Spoon, he can play on that outside, but yeah, he can move into the slot as well. Very different type of body, but very different type of skill set. But as you said, Griff, the instincts for the position, which I mean, there are flashes of that in college, but you never quite know how much of that is the scheme. Giving him opportunities to make plays, but then you sort of you look back on those plays that he made in college, and then you can almost give his instincts even more credit. Now we've seen it translate to the NFL. So yeah, I mean, I'm so excited.
Yeah,
McDonald said, I couldn't believe he was the smartest football player of all time, and it's only his second year in the NFL. He's got an answer for everything. No, hey, be yourself. That's who he is. We love him. He's a great player already in this league. We're really excited about him. Again, all those guys are great, man. Energy is right where we want it. Then he was asked how Spoon stacked up football IQ wise. He said it's high for a second year guy to be able to take something from the meeting, register it quickly. The questions he asks are really spot on, like no BS type questions. He understands the concept. He understands. You can tell he's visualizing himself going through all the rules. When he's clear, it's good. When it's not, he nails it, takes it right to the field. Yeah, it is pretty high. So, yeah, and as you said, Griff, he's spoken previously about his past, his role. McDonald's spoken previously about Spoon's role and the ability to play on the perimeter and on the inside. And that transitions us nicely to the defensive back group and specifically Rayshawn Jenkins, because Seattle has a number of safeties, right? They have a number of safeties without that clear guy in contract value where they've transitioned from having, two of the top 10, or it was once upon a time, two of the top 5 highest paid safeties in the league with Condre Dix and Jamal Adams. Now they have Julian Love, who they clearly feel highly about, and they've multiple coaches in the organization have praised his communication skills out on the field, his ability to kind of coordinate things on the back end, as McDonald asked, of his safeties, as a lot of NFL defenses do now. But after that, you have Kayvon Wallace, another free agent who we might be able to look at. You have Kobe Bryant, who's right on the fringe of the NFL right now, and he'll be looking to stake a claim as a strong safety / nickel. You have Jerick Reed, who's more of a deep guy coming off an ACL injury, but he was having an impressive rookie year, and he did really well on special teams and looked promising in the preseason. Jonathan Sutherland, who was getting rave reviews out of minicamp and was filling in that kind of dime role when Jamal Adams was out. Ty Okada, who played some special teams for Seattle last year. And then Rayshawn Jenkins, who, I mean, we're going to look at his fit, but he's battling those guys for just safety reps. And then if they're going to play some 3 safety looks, right, if they want to be bigger against the run, they want to be more stout but still play their kind of nickel looking front, and it's like a big nickel role. There's that to factor in. But then there's also Devon Witherspoon who can play nickel. There's Trey Brown who has nickel in his background or slot corner in his background. And then there's DJ James, the 5th round draft pick, who 5th round, 6th round. Anyway, day 3 draft pick who we looked at his tape and we really liked what we saw there. So, and veteran Artie Burns, who's another kind of nickel corner. So they've got nickel corners. They've got this safety group. With some of them having some nickel type skill sets in there, and some more big, some more small. So it's going to be really intriguing to see how it all shakes out. Griff, what do you think? How does Jenkins fit into all of that, just based off what you've seen?
He can do the deep stuff, right? He can be a cover 2 safety. He can be a quarter safety. He can come down into the seam. He can carry tight ends. I haven't seen him do a lot of like inside leverage things as a nickel. That is so aligning with inside leverage to a slot. But when he's been rolled into the box, say in cover 3 or cover 1, as a strong safety, he knows what he's doing in the box. He doesn't really have a really physical presence, so you want to keep him clean. He'll have some like really rough looking moments aesthetically where people will be like, is Rayshawn Jenkins? Just going off of last year, there will be moments where people will question Jenkins's effort when really it's just he's kind of a skinny guy. That's what happens occasionally. He's going to get rocked occasionally. But he has box skills, so he knows what he's doing in there. So from isolating his strong safety reps in cover 3, you can relate that to being like a big nickel a little bit. I'm very curious to see how Macdonald decides to optimize him, what his role, his collection of roles will be. But I think if you were to characterize him, maybe he can do a little bit of everything. So
yeah,
I will say as a player, I like him. Like he's firmly above average. He's kind of like what Julian Love should be, in my opinion. We're also hoping Love can be what Love should be as well. But
yeah, so real quick, let's just give the full profile of Jenkins. So he's 30 years old. His birthday's in January. He's a 4th round pick out of Miami in 2017. Went to the Los Angeles Chargers, left the Chargers to go to Jacksonville in 2021, where they signed him to a 4-year, $35 million contract. Then he broke his ankle in week 15 of 2021. Came back, and then the Jags, fast forwarding, they cut him March 5th, 2024. And then 8 days later, Seattle signed Jenkins to a 2-year, $12 million contract with basically $3 million total guaranteed money. He tested really well coming out of Miami, like crazy well. 6'1", 214 pounds, running a 4.5 140, 37-inch vert, 128-inch broad, with over 32-inch long arms. And in terms of his skill set, what I've seen from it is it stands out that him, Kayvon Wallace, and then Julian Love, particularly how he's used with the Giants, they all are able or have NFL experience playing in a lot of different techniques and roles. And Macdonald, I think, now with Kyle Hamilton, it's a bit more obvious that he's the down type safety, but with the rest of his safeties, he moves them around. He put them in the different roles of the coverage. And what we're talking about there is you're not seeing an obvious box guy. Well, obviously you're playing quite a bit of split safety deals anyway, so both of them are going to be high, but you're going to task them with the same assignment on a different play. You're playing more kind of left and right rather than strong and weak. Even though game plan wise, they can really hone it in down the line if they feel someone's better at a certain thing. Right, so anything else we should add there? Chat, have you got any questions? How did you feel about the Rayshawn Jenkins edition? Griff, should we get to the tape?
we should.
Oh, perfect. So this Jags game was week 15 of the season versus the Ravens, who were really pushing for the playoffs. I don't think we can learn too much from the Ravens' style of offense. I know, Macdonald comes from there. He learned from both Harbors for a while. I think the way Baltimore played some physical offense, and I think the way that their offense is quite a diverse one for us to watch, Griff. Like, it's going to give us a bit of everything, isn't it?
Yeah.
So in that sense, it's a good one where skill set wise they have a bit of everything, but also play wise they do a bit of everything. Obviously, Seattle struggled last year against it. That was the beginning of the end, wasn't it?
Yeah.
So what are you expecting to see from Jenkins here?
What am I expecting to see from him? I mean, assignment correctness, I think, is the main thing. That counts for a lot.
With Macdonald as well, right? Like, just indeed. Thinking about the type of coach he appears to be.
Yeah, we want to see assignment correctness. We want to see like real cover ability when he's got a one-on-one situation going on. Can you stick with the guy?
Yeah.
How does he drop his weight when he needs to change direction? Those are always the big markers.
Yeah. So one thing to know is against the Baltimore Ravens slot formations, they played corners over. The Jags did a lot of the time. So that's a corner. Jenkins is, charting companies would call that right corner, right? He's on the right-hand side of the defense, on the edge deep. But that's just matching him up with the tight end, the corner up the receiver. That's all that is. But again, it speaks to, experience in a deep outside third in college football. So you spoke, Griff, about some of the confusing plays from him. It's almost like his controller died on Madden, right? Sometimes.
Yeah. He'll have moments where, that's a good way to put it, honestly.
So, exploring the root of that would be interesting to me. And again, I wonder if it's something Macdonald thinks, I can get this guy playing a bit cleaner here. I can eliminate some of those bad plays in my coaching and the rules and the keys that I give them.
Yeah. Should be said, I think that the Jags ended with a good defense last year.
Yeah.
But, so he's playing a quarter, right?
Yeah, and over here, I guess they've inverted. It's kind of weird because at the top I thought it was it's probably two read, right? But
definitely. But the safety is they've got it's a 5-man rush, right?
Oh, I didn't see that. Yeah, so it's probably like a pressure type deal up the top. But this is pretty solid. He's not threatened vertical. He's looking at the QB, so there's no need to drive this immediately.
Yeah. Took a decent opening angle on it.
Yeah. Truly, the corner kind of has a bad rep given where the QB's looking and Lamar Jackson. The other thing about the Jenkins sign-in is he mentioned, he visited with the San Francisco 49ers, who obviously had a need at safety, given Hufanga's coming back from injury. And he decided to sign with Seattle, and the state income tax was a large influence on him. He kind of volunteered that. It was speculated upon. So here, cover 2, right? So he's the deep half.
He's playing the deepest potential route, right?
Yeah, solid feet initially, but he's a kind of a high-legged guy.
Ball probably could have been thrown, but
it's a tough route to cover because he's thinking not the worst case scenario, but inside release on this cloud corner here. He's thinking it's going to be a corner up here. So he's thinking he needs to stay over the top of that with this guy underneath. And it's a deep drop back. his help is here, right? And then his help in an ideal world is here. But this is similar concept to what Seattle calls a lot, right? Where they run the curls.
Yeah, and they still will run this because Grubb runs it a lot.
It's a really hard concept to cover.
I do think he gets turned around because he aligns fairly close to the line of scrimmage. I think for a cover, like they're trying to sell quarters.
They're trying to show, they're trying to show quarter, half, or just cover 3. I don't know what they're trying to show.
But he's like 10 yards away from the line of scrimmage as a cover 2 corner.
So usually he's trying to show like he's a 4.
Could be.
Yeah.
Or maybe even like a seam rotation, like cover 3 rotation sort of thing.
Yeah.
So I guess what I'm saying then is, had he aligned deeper, he would have been able to like come down on the route.
Play top down on it, yeah.
Yeah.
And this is a really common thing. Every NFL defense is doing this, but in base, which they're in base personnel, because look at what the Ravens have out there, but they're going to play basically an under type front. Although now I'm looking at that's not an under type front. But they're going to run 5 guys down the line. They're going to play quarters, and then they're going to play cover 2. So cover 6, quarter, half. And Macdonald will do that too. Oh, I think they stunt the front because of... well, I don't know. Anyway. So why do you think Lamar Jackson doesn't throw that, Griff?
He doesn't always have the quickest trigger, to be honest with you. Sometimes he does, sometimes he doesn't. Maybe he's feeling the pressure.
Yeah. The middle runner, is that Wingard?
Don't know. I don't know his name.
He opens to where Lamar's looking, I guess.
Yeah.
Anyway.
By the way, Devon Lloyd, 33, I think his number is.
Monjombo asking, oh yeah, that's something to look for as well. So number 33, Devon Lloyd, someone Seattle had been rumoured in having trade interest in, the linebacker. And Monjombo asking, was it confirmed that Jenkins is wearing the green dot? I don't think that's been confirmed. And I know reporters right now, with the mandatory stuff, they're very much limited in what they can report. I don't know if green dot they'd be allowed to report that, but I'd be shocked if Julian Love isn't wearing the green dot. Could be Witherspoon, but I just feel Love is going to be the guy. But we'll see. Just the way he communicates, watching him, how he interacted with Macdonald on the mic'd up segment. It looks like he's going to be his general, you know. I don't know where to put this, because I don't want to... That's a good spot, I guess. Or down here. Get rid of that. So now we're in a post. Not much more to say about that.
Yeah, I like how he... that's a pretty good rep, him staying on the boundary post. It's the quarterback eyes going there. You got 3 receivers to that side, so he leans that way, right?
Deep is the deepest. Given help in the post.
If he was more of a robot and less kind of reacting to the formation and everything that's going on, he might have melted inside the hash and then have to work back, and he might have ended up giving room to the post or something, but he doesn't here. He stays on top and inside of it pretty well.
Yep. It's like we say, zone coverage is, a lot of it looks very easy.
Yeah.
But
by the way, a good field hook drop, weak hook drop from Devon Lloyd here. His 2 is vertical. He melts, and then he works back toward the logo.
Nice scan here to check out if this guy's coming in, but also to check that this guy's cleared him and hasn't gone out. Yeah, very, very nice. Very nice.
Yeah.
What happened to his weak hook? Oh, God.
Louis Cook is completely drained from 3. But so yeah, if that ball gets completed here, it does get completed, right? But the charting companies, are they going to fault Devon Lloyd for that and grade him negatively? Because it wouldn't be on him. Like, Lloyd should be graded positively here. It should be on 23, the Mike, who's running out of this.
The team I'm facing this weekend do stuff like this. I'm tearing my hair out, man.
This is a problem. So like this is a perfect example of PFF grades though. Like when people say, okay, how can you say a player is good or bad based off their PFF grade? This is just one. Like, I'm not trying to straw man. I'm not trying to make more of one example, but this is an example right here. Devon Lloyd should be graded positively here. This is a very good hook drop from him, and he's probably being dinged for this. He's probably the guy being punished for this, if I had to guess. So it's a lot of things like this can add up where it's just the grading system completely misses the mark.
Yeah, and I don't know what 42 is really. The lack of urgency from players is always really interesting to me. Like, surely you've taken him 15 yards here. Surely you would then think, QB's looking away. We haven't had 3 is away. Like, can we not get on our bike? I don't know. And also, Griff, how many companies... Do you think the companies would chart this as cover 3? I'd hope so.
I think they're getting better at that.
Okay. Because GPS tracking data might say this is man.
Yeah. I mean, 42, I think, gives it away. But it's zone. Zone match.
Anyway. Okay, so good end zone look here at Jenkins reading the eyes. And then you can also see Lloyd scanning out here and then back to the QB, seeing the QB looking away, so melting with him. Drift, I don't like this, though. Why is he hopping and then clicking his feet? That's
just
rough.
How he moves. That's just how he moves.
Yeah, but if you need us to read... If this guy hooks up, how are you going to redirect effectively? Yeah, that's an inefficient movement, in my opinion.
Okay, all right. I mean, Devon Lloyd is such an elite mover in general that I think he's probably sloppy with fundamentals.
Yep.
That because he can get away with it.
But look at that. That's right? Perfect. If his weak hook had been
like zoned it, stayed high and on top of 3 to the flat, right?
Yeah, or if 42 had actually.
But so right now Lloyd is giving the defense everything he could as the strong hook dropper for that concept.
OG3 saying it's crazy to me how good hook drops look so simple on tape.
It's enlightening, isn't it? So it's hundreds of snaps of this is what makes a good coverage player. It's why we used to geek out about KJ Wright. It's this kind of shit.
Yeah.
But unyieldingly consistent, right?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I'm gonna have to write this example down for my linebackers. Okay, so we've seen Jenkins as a deep third outside corner. Technically, we've seen him as a quarters safety in a pressure defense. We've seen him as a deep half player, right? We've seen him as a post third safety, and now we're seeing him man to man on the tight end. So that's the first 5 plays. That's the type of experience in versatile and multiple assignments that Macdonald covets, and what we've already just seen.
It's pretty good.
Yeah, I mean, he gets a lot of help, but it's fair.
What do you think about his footwork right off the snap?
I don't know why I don't know what he's really trying. It's a hard one to assess.
I mean, he has a rat, right? So he's
trying to work this guy towards his help.
Yeah.
But he gets is that Lloyd?
Yep.
No, it's
Oh, I thought you meant
whoever's running. Is that do they have someone called Le Chase on? Is that right?
Could be.
I don't know. Anyway, he doesn't get helped by his teammate, so we don't really know. So now he's at this corner spot again because we got a slot formation. So, chat, on the subject of slot formations, we've said this before, but for ages, Seattle had this slot check called Reno, and I couldn't work out why it was called Reno. And then one day I was thinking, oh, is it called Reno because they have gambling there and there's slot machines in Reno, and they already had a Vegas check?
I remember
Maybe.
when you DM'd me that. It made so much sense.
It makes some sense, but I don't know. It's very unhinged. Okay, so now in the flat of cover 3 with a fast 3 and okay, so kind of a sail drop here, right? Sailing out with the fast 3. Macdonald will ask his guys to sail, so by which we mean it looks like the ship of a sail, right? Because you can imagine a boat with that shape on it, right? But you're taking also it's got a double meaning because you're taking away a route like a 7 cut, which again is like a sail shape because you can imagine that on a boat, can't you? Essentially playing like a cover 2 corner, get your butt to the sideline, look deep on that low hip to the short, let the QB, if he looks out here with his front shoulder, front hand coming off the football, take you to the flat, but play this route. Good push from your boy. Look at this scanning of the threats, Griff. Oh.
Yeah. Yep.
And obviously that Lamar Jackson's looking away, so
I was a little encouraged that they kind of circled him to be like one of the first guys to inquire about in the offseason, Devin Lloyd.
but when did they put that together? Who was the head coach?
It's a good point. Good point. But yeah, good rep from Jenkins though. Him understanding his highest threat while still staying leverage for the running back in the flat.
Yeah. Yep. I mean, again, not spectacular, but solid.
Dude, Lamar is insane.
Yeah, he's a joke.
Just manufacturing first downs like that.
Yeah, because everything here is shit. Everything here is covered. I guess you could throw this, but it's opened up, so. And you get the lead block from your back. Good work, Justice Hill. So now the boundary curl flat defender. We saw him kind of to the field, which again, more space. And also on a tight end. That's man-to-man coverage?
Mm-hmm.
Or is it a match defense? I think it's man. Interesting that he decides to bail at the snap like that. Like, was he trying to bluff like he's a blitzer? But what I don't like about this decision is this is fairly tight split. It's to the boundary. We have a slot, and he's almost, he's inside the numbers, but he's almost on the numbers, meaning he's quite close to this guy. I don't like how similar these levels are. If we got this, they're going to run into each other, so I don't like that. Like, this is not good. But it's a run, so. That's a weird way for Lloyd to play it, Griff.
Yeah.
Is it because of Lamar, so they want to have
Why does he dip back in at the last second?
Right, like he's read the play correctly. He needs to get over the top. No, I guess because it's trap, so he's thinking he can just pull his gun and beat this guy inside and make the tackle.
But that should be 23's play, right?
Yeah, really, guys, it should be. What is I mean, it is 23's play eventually, but maybe it's just like a spill and overlap type thing. Anyway, we'll have to monitor that. Anyway, back to Jenkins. So we're now in like a red zone split safety defense. No. Oh, I don't know what. Where's the red zone coverage?
This is pretty good from him filtering through. It's like it's
Like
is
a
it
weak quarter.
is it quarters at the top and then like something inverted at the bottom? Or no, I think it's red 4 quarters across.
I think it's 4, and with all this going on, these
Safety
guys are
just
just locked on their
yeah.
2s, right? So it's when he goes away, he knows he can come down and play here.
So Jenkins 2 eliminates himself because he blocks. So then he gets his
eyes for the
crosser.
Which again,
Play action, he's thinking boot. So
and I think against the 49ers and teams like that in the NFC West, Macdonald's going to want his safeties to do a lot of this, where this is a red zone edition, but he's going to want them to be the ones who are driving on these types of routes.
Yeah.
Especially when we're talking about Seattle's coverage, linebackers, and their perhaps limited ability in that area, they're not going to ask much of their linebackers. They're going to tax it on the safeties. And one way of doing that's playing split safety stuff where you have a safety drive on the crosser on play action. So 3rd and 10. So we need some situational awareness. We're now in a sub package. Looks like just nickel, but we've got him to the passing strength now and to the field. Looks like some type of quarters. So again, this is a type of defense that Macdonald's going to be running a very similar variant of, where it looks as though they are this is a good play from Jenkins as well. So he's reading out the 2 and the 3.
Yeah.
But I wonder what
he's playing 3-2, yeah.
Yeah, I wonder what the specific rules are. It's interesting to me that this corner is not playing with a man technique. Right?
Right.
Anyway, this is a great play from Jenkins. They kind of try and get him on a stick nod.
Yeah.
They're trying to get him to drive on 3 out and then bang it into this hole here. You can see Lamar's looking for that as well. Lloyd kind of does well on that type of route.
It's a good rep from Lloyd.
But Jenkins as well is right in the window. He does break down slightly, but the guy's hips turn slightly. It's okay. You've got time. Key is he's in a good enough position with his feet to be able to redirect. See,
he squares back
he's
up.
Inside his cylinder, he's squared back up, and he's able to then slide and get hands onto the route top down.
So, yeah, and it's stuff like this where he was like a key cog in the defense. He wasn't doing anything special, but it just like rock solid kind of play is how I saw it. And like it's a good rep. It's good team coverage here.
So Griff, one question I had for you actually on your commentary on Jenkins is, and I've used the term before, but something that may need explaining for the listener, or it would be interesting to talk about, is you described him as a boundary quarter guy, right?
In a perfect world, yeah. But
so what do you mean by that?
I mean, if you don't have crazy range, but you got football skills in the NFL, teams put you to the boundary and in the seam. It's kind of like the terms you'd use for a 2 high safety, that if they were in a 1 high safety, they'd be your box safety. And from there, there are levels to that too, right? Like there are different types of cover 3 box safeties, right? There are ones that can do a lot of stuff in coverage and ones that can't. He's a guy that can do some stuff in coverage. So that's why when you play too high, like, yeah, you can trust him to do heady things playing deep, playing a deep quarter, going from 2 to 1, handling multiple threats. Like we saw that previous play against play action, him scanning the whole field. But in a perfect world, when you're in too deep, you wouldn't task him with a lot of space a lot of the time. It's just that with Seattle's safeties right now, who is going to be that guy? And will they just share the load and be truly interchangeable where they play left and right? And whoever's the deep guy is the guy that just so happens to be to the field, which would be dictated by the offense and where the ball is. So,
Yep.
But Matty, what are your thoughts on that with regard?
Yeah, similar. Because I think I was asked when I went on Cigar Thoughts. I think I was asked like, are you like something around like his range being not as good? And it's like, I think his range is fine, but
it's functional, right? Like it's functional range.
Yeah.
It's not anything like out of this world. Like it's fine, but
right. So here, this is a cool play call from the defense. So he's on a safety blitz from depth. So essentially, they're trying to get Lamar to keep the ball, seeing all this slanting in, running it from depth. He doesn't account for this guy, and then he keeps the ball right into the teeth. Meanwhile, the Ravens think they have the numbers for this, but Jenkins does a good job of beating his block and then making the tackle. So against the Ravens' rushing attack, stopping them for 1 yard is pretty good.
Yeah, comfortable coming downhill.
And again, assignment correctness where they're calling this play for them to keep the football and make the tackle, but he has to make the tackle. Because if he gets blocked here, right, and Macdonald preaches not getting blocked, if he gets blocked here, there's no one making that play. Well, actually, is that Lloyd again? Lloyd shows some pretty good awareness of what's actually happening here. But, yeah, no one's making the play. And then Soupman just pointing out, Macdonald was hired January 31st. Griff, you talked about the trade inquiry on March 17th. Yes, but they will have drafted up a list of targets well in advance, Soupman. That was my point on that.
Theoretically, yeah.
Just a theory, yeah. We don't know. Wash Farm, thank you so much for the $10. Appreciate that. If you got a question, please do ask it, man. Or girl.
Man or girl.
Person.
Man. We appreciate that, Wash Farm. Thank you very much.
Or farm.
Yeah, farm.
All right, 2nd and 8.
So we're at the option game here. He's playing a quarter, you would think.
Good pursuit angle. I like how he presses. Don't want to overreact too much to that, but good pressing of the line relative to his starting position, where that's a near hit pursuit angle, which has been an issue in Seattle in recent years. Okay, so 3rd and 7. So we're late getting lined up, which I don't know why that is, and they're playing cover 3 again, or match 3. No, cover 1.
Yeah.
So that's a bit of a tough one.
Yeah.
Because he's late getting lined up, and then he's feeling, I need to gain leverage quickly. He kind of oversteps with the stem of the route and gets beat down his... He just thinks it's a slot fade when it's a seam, which is run pretty well. But I think if he's earlier getting lined up, he doesn't feel like he needs to do that. Doesn't matter anyway. And the recovery to to flip back is okay. I mean, it's pretty decent movement skills for his type of profile.
He's really good at opening up his hips, isn't he? And getting going again.
Right, like the lean and the way his hips can not bend but be fluid.
Yeah.
We're coming up to a very good play. Okay, so cover 2 again on his. Wow, they run some. So it's quarter half again, where, like I said, they're running an under front. They're running cover 4 to the strong side, or the field in this case as well, and then cover 2 weak side, and he's playing the weak deep half. Seattle are similar, right? In base, they got this. In base, their most run coverage grift's going to be this, isn't it?
Yep, definitely. And Macdonald loves to cloud to the boundary. He loves to play cover 2 to the boundary.
And do you think that's because you can take away their primary receiver, or do you think it's just spacing of getting the quarter guy driving to the field and the reroute on the boundary? Do you think it's how you can involve the boundary corner in the run fit a bit more?
I think it's all of the above. I think it's the options and how you can layer things off of it, to be honest with you. But remember, like, they only play 20% of their snaps in base. So I don't think he's thinking too much about base layers, but it's just, I mean, cover 6 is a good call, right?
Yeah.
So
here he's thinking about the stop route again, right? You see he kind of nestles down at this, but then this guy's nestled down. But having more depth enables him to be more in control, right? He hasn't felt the need to open up as quick.
Mm-hmm.
That being said, you'd think he would. I mean, I guess it is the NFL, but a 25-yard. He's worried about a 25-yard hitch. Sorry, deep comeback. I guess he started at 22. Anyway.
I think he starts to shuffle a little bit to see if it's going to be a post and if he's going to have to baseball turn.
Right. Like,
right.
Yeah. That's fair. That makes more sense.
Over his shoulder. But I think that's a sign of him feeling comfortable enough to kind of play it honestly.
Right, like he's sort of eliminating all of the phases of the stem, and he's still on top and driving.
Instead of just overplaying the deepest
right, sort of just opening all the way. Confident in his athletic ability and his reads.
Right.
Good point.
So it's just kind of more like solid football, right? And that was just watching him. It's like, okay, solid football player for his contract. Like that's a good move in isolation.
Okay, so this is high level play. So they get trips bunched into the boundary. Jenkins is the quarters player. To the weak receiver, the weak side, they're playing cover 2. They get motion before the snap to create 2x2, but there's a stack on the side of the boundary where the quarter is. They get play action, and they're basically going to get like a flood concept to the field with the split action. It's basically a boot. It's post wheel with this shallow over the ball route as the check down, but they're trying to dial up a shot here. Brandon, it's a 2-year, $12 million deal with $6.3 million basically guaranteed. So I guess the rules of the Jags would be if this guy runs over, Jenkins needs to take it across the formation.
To kneel down on it, yeah.
That enables the linebacker to then come down here on this player. We're going to have the curl in this window, and then the cloud corner has a tough job of splitting the distance, but layers wise, we should be all right. So you can see how they've covered up this concept fairly good. This receiver's not looking back for the football. A nasty variant of this is to hitch him in this area behind the curl, because the curl's held by this and the rollout because there's no contain. But the receiver keeps running on the post. So they cover that up well. And the cloud is sunk under the wheel nicely, taking the second guy through his zone. But what Jenkins does, which is impressive, is a bit like what you saw in the previous play where he was eliminating all those routes like Griff spoke about. The guy's nestled up. This guy's cleared him, and he knows the corners here. He's also seeing Lamar looking at this route here. He knows this linebacker's going here. It's likely to be thrown here. Now, this is a bad play from Lamar in terms of throwing late over the middle. That's never something you should do as a QB. But for Jenkins to make this play where he's driving from a deep quarter, right, he's had to think about carrying that all the way across the field. He's had to kind of eliminate other things, and then to be right is impressive.
Right. The interception itself is almost like the least impressive thing about the play. Like what allows him to make the interception is him doing everything else right beforehand, like being in position for it. If Lamar decided not to throw this ball, it would have been just as good of a play from Jenkins, because it would have meant that he prevented the target, which is what it was supposed to do.
Yeah, and there's so many moving parts here, right, as well. And it's the reason they're running this play is that it's an unconventional formation before the motion and after even to run bootleg.
Right.
But yeah.
You don't normally see sprint out bootleg from shotgun, right? You see it occasionally, but he keys this like it's under center, and he knows exactly what they're running.
I also like how he's able to, just movement-wise, it's pretty cool how he's able to get into the undercut position. He doesn't round out his cut, but he steps with his inside foot to fully turn his foot into that direction. If you just...
Yeah.
It's a good angle and a good footwork to drive into that.
Like his momentum doesn't carry him past the field hash. He's able to throttle down and
puts
drive.
The brakes on in a good way, yeah.
Yep. Good player.
So, chat, that's an exciting play, because it's not easy. Oh, let's watch it from this angle, sorry. Great look at the eyes here. So initially he's reading this number 2, sees the slide action, sees the mesh, and sees that they're getting boot to the field, sees this guy cross his face, knows the corner's back here so he can take care of deep stuff, and he knows he needs to drive on this route, and then he goes to work. So, type of stuff that Mike Macdonald will love. Now we're back in the deep middle third. Play action screen. So there's a play that I tweeted out a while ago where they throw this type of, 3-level like dig type route here, and he drives on it perfectly, and you're expecting a massive hit or a really good tackle or a pass breakup, and he just completely misses on the tackle, which is a controller died moment.
Mm-hmm.
And I wonder if it's just a tackling thing, or like being caught in two minds thing, and how much that shows up in the rest of his game, if it's even a thing. Did you notice? Well, we spoke about it, haven't we? But did you notice kind of almost moments of indecision leading to missed playmaking opportunities, or?
No, I just think coming downhill when there's contact involved is when it gets really weird with him.
Right.
Even though,
Which is what that play was.
yeah,
It was coming downhill on a dig and the contact
yeah.
and not being there. This is
Otherwise,
interesting.
most of his like negative plays, so any player's going to have them, are just more so like him not being an elite talent. When those are just going to happen, he's going to get got. Like that one play where he overruns the seam, right? It's just when he thought it would be a fade type of stuff. Obviously, his alignment was a variable there, but
Yeah. This is an aware play. So we're in cover 4. He's a quarter safety. His 2 is in and under, so linebackers can handle that. Now the next threat is this guy, and Lamar's also looking at me, so I'm going to try and be a nuisance if it's like a comeback and drifts inside, or any route that drifts inside deep. Good awareness. Lamar's out the pocket. The pass rush is doing its job. Where's the threat on this side? Oh, there's a guy coming over the middle, so now I'm going to try and pick up this threat. Lamar's still scrambling. Oh no, disaster. We've had an issue here. And this guy's running through. I'm the only one who can make the play here because of the positioning. And it's good awareness to pick that up. Uh, 42 is interesting.
their other safety.
Yeah. How is he? That's audacious, just pointing to that like the corner's going to take it. I guess we don't know their precise rules, but... That's a good play.
Yeah.
Trying to disguise like we're in something else. Then we're playing zone, but good play to knock back. Good separation. Good look at the arm length here, and then shed off the block. Don't just shed to nothing. Actually shed to the ball and make the tackle as well on Lamar Jackson.
I mean, he's shutting me up right there, right? Stack and shed on the... Is that a tight end too? 80? No.
Yep. Yeah. I think so.
A
It's
light
likely,
tight end,
right?
but still, yeah. Like, I'm going to be honest, that's stuff Julian Love can't do. Or at least I didn't see him do it last year.
Yeah. And I wonder just in the... Before we get exotic, right? With as in... putting safeties down the line to blitz and all that stuff. I wonder on like the early downs or even the neutral downs if Love is more the high guy in the 2 safety stuff and Jenkins is more the box, or the guy they're thinking about as you're going to play him in stuff where he's more likely to be asked to deal with run and stalk blocks and that stuff. Whereas just for what you've said. How did he do here? No, fine.
See deep middle there.
Deep middle third. Griff, I need to get more water. 1 second.
All right.
I'll leave it running for you. You can talk the chat through it.
Very kind of you. Chat, we need to listen. I need your help. We need to bully Matty into watching Master and Commander because listen, my brain, I can't talk about anything with him outside of football until he watches it because I need to run some ideas by him. So when he comes back, spam the chat telling him to watch Master and Commander. Even say like, Matty, we're not going to pay attention to the stream if you don't promise to watch Master and Commander by the end of the end of the week. Now we'll give him 2 weeks. But yeah, so I need your help from yours truly. In the meantime, though, it was 2nd and 10, 2 minutes left, 2-minute drill. We know it's going to be a passing situation. He's lining up on the boundary slot. Weak quarter quarter on 2. That's pretty good. Just staying high and inside on the seam, knowing that he has corner help. Oh, hey, Matty. How are you?
Hello.
What's up?
I'm good. How you been?
Good. No, I'm fine. Just been watching football.
Oh gosh.
Just been watching football.
I unplugged everything. Are we back?
Yeah, we're back. I
I
was only
managed to
talking
unplug
about
everything.
I was only talking about football with the chat. We were
Oh,
only
cool.
chatting about football.
That's cool. We should also say analytics companies like Jenkins.
Whoa, Matty, what's going on in the chat right now?
What do you mean?
Have you read the chat?
I can't see the chat.
You can't see the chat right now?
No.
You want me to
No.
shall I would you like me to describe it or shall I find you a box?
No, it's okay. This is a nice rep from Jenkins here.
Yeah, that's what I was just saying.
I don't know what coverage this is.
It's quarters. It's you've got a
Yeah.
It's like stump mod
Yeah.
or special. You got stump at the bottom and then just regular mod at the top.
Yeah, basically don't ask 42 to do anything.
So Maddie, the chat is saying, if Maddie doesn't watch Master and Commander, we'll never forgive you. Have you heard of Master and Commander? Are we really back though if there's no Master and Commander? Masty and Griffin Commander. Griff, watch Master and Commander, or if I have the rights to your firstborn child, or Maddie, watch Master and Commander. Maddie, are you even a real Brit if you haven't watched Master and Commander? So listen, Maddie, the chat is just as distressed and just, done with it as I am. You need
You're
to watch.
distressed? I didn't get that. You should have mentioned it more.
This podcast isn't bad, but I can't really watch a podcast where the host hasn't seen Master and Commander. So
and
you're
the
getting
chat is saying
pelted
all
right
this
now.
because I can't see it.
Yeah, they are. You're getting absolutely pelted. One guy just left. New guys just left.
Wow. But we gained a viewer. That's weird.
Lee is questioning your manhood. So
the last comment I see in the chat is I only see lol from Brendan.
Interesting. Yeah. Selective eyes.
This is a good rep from Jenkins. So they get it's a heavy formation. They get the whatever you want to call it, but a guy motion pre-snap. So now my gap, basically, I'm playing right corner, which is not my typical role. And my gap is this guy. This guy's got here. This guy's got here. This guy's got here. I need to filter where that guy goes. So
if they're pulling the string, he has the next bubble, right? The next covered gap.
So essentially, it is from out here getting in here.
I think so, but then it looks like their will is taking that gap anyway.
Yeah, I mean, it is. What's the
distance? They actually do it right.
3rd and 1.
That's impressive from Jacksonville, although I'm not sure. It's impressive from the second level, but the D-line kind of
52 has a tough moment.
Yeah.
Yeah, 52 has a really bad moment, actually. Can't let 70 get off you like that.
So he has the front side A.
Yeah.
Jenkins does.
But good hit.
Yeah, he gets square at last second, gains ground, gets square.
Not getting knocked over with the pad into the pad.
So box skills, right? I mean, he knows how to move in the box.
Yeah, which is why it's a good one. Okay, so 3 deep, 3 under fire zone. So we've probably seen about 9 different things asked of him, and now this is like the 10th. There's a lot of things, but this is the fire zone where he's the middle hook, so he's the 3 dropper. So they're blitzing both backers. They're then dropping out here, and he's this middle dude. Man, that's tough. Oh, I'd be distraught. What down and distance is this? 1st and 10. This is a call, Griff. How do you feel about this play call?
I think that's tough. I mean, you really have
I just play cover 1, you know?
Yeah. You
Like,
have no
why-
weak scheme presence. There's no chance.
I hate 3 deep, 3 under
Unless you're matching,
to 2x2.
but they're
I
not
hate it.
matching. Yeah.
Yeah, because you can't match if you're outside backers. I mean, well, you could,
Right.
but
Right. You can do it at a 4 down, but the thing though is that you have to be able to fire zone out of a bear front occasionally, right? So you're gonna be tasked with some
yeah,
fire
it's just
zone.
against 2x2. It's just bad. If you're playing 3 deep, 3 under.
Yeah. So like, would you rather play like a palms fire zone here, a 2 read fire zone? Would you feel better about it in that scenario where the free safety is playing a little tighter to 2?
Yeah, maybe, yeah. You could. Yeah. Yeah. I think that would be the move. Anyway, what did Seattle do when they were good at that sort of stuff against 2x2?
I think it was a lot of like palms and then quarters backside and even some like inverted cover 6.
Yeah.
2 deep 4 under stuff is pretty effective. Like cover 2 deep 4 under.
Right. So anyway, the not on Jenkins that play. Right, here's another heavy formation. So my guy goes away, condense and squeeze down the line. Oh, that's not much doing there, but good. Then move in the front a bit. That's a cool, good execution there from Jacksonville.
Yeah.
Is their DC the same?
I think they kept him, yeah.
Yeah. Oh no! Hey, this is a Julian Love play. This is what Seattle got by well, very similar to what Detroit got Seattle on, except this is 3. Technically, it's 4 load, so
Yeah.
it's by which I mean, guys, there's one guy here, 1, 2, 3, 4. So this guy, which is Jenkins, is the curl flat. He's thinking with 4 to a side. I need to push out because there's too many. There's just math wise too many numbers. We don't know the exact rules, but typically, if he's going to do this, this guy needs to push here. The corner needs to get his ass deep, right? And then this guy's picking up the first guy back from this thing. But why does it go wrong?
So 80 is the
What's the corner doing? Is he in the fit? Oh, yeah. So the back of alignment's a bit odd.
yeah.
It's just the corner just thinks he has to play the run, doesn't he?
Yep. You put the corners in the run fit, they always get got by the run pass conflict. You put the corner in the run fit, you can play action the corner. It's a tale as old as time.
Yeah, but they bump here, they bump kind of here, but the corner doesn't understand. He doesn't get the because when they get that. Well, anyway, never mind. Yeah, but it's on the corner, right? / the play call.
Yeah. Jenkins is all right here.
Yeah, he does about as good as he could do in the position.
That's a pretty baller throw from Lamar too.
Yep.
Not like an impossible throw, but it takes initiative.
It's accurate and it's a good...
Like right on time.
Yeah, good timing, yeah. This is every time I see 42, this is on like red zone. He's always showing up doing stuff like that.
Yeah.
Yeah, he makes good hits on touchdowns. Okay, playing the right corner again.
Looking for work. He has no immediate threat because his threat blocks, I think. Or does he release?
No, I think he does block.
Okay, yeah. So he just
releases very late. Just a good look at the movement skills there. Let's try and find another good play, eh? And then we can wrap. Chat, is there any questions you've got on this? Because I think the chat's working again now.
Yeah, we're back to normal.
I'd like to see a rep of him fully opening up, like having to sprint. Okay, so in the fit here. Oh dear. Superman, don't do that. Fine. Max protection. Oh god, that's so nasty for 30. That's such a disgusting play action.
Mm-hmm.
That's not a very good route either, is it? Like the stem is kind of rough. He stacks him though, so I feel like the key is the corner's moved into the undercut, thinking it's coming over, hasn't he? So that's the problem.
Mm-hmm.
So, guys, when we talk about Quandre Diggs and why he was good, part of the reason is I feel like Quandre Diggs on this play, Griffin, correct me if you think I'm off base. If the corner's undercutting here, right, for that route, the corner isn't expecting this guy to drive down, okay? Because one way you can play this in cover 3 is this guy drives down on this route and the corner can stay kind of more over the top in leverage, right? But on plays where the corner does this guy has to play the deepest because what if this guy ran that? Then we need help in the post, right? Quandre Diggs was very alert to if they're doing this and this, he would be able to almost turn it into a deep half and get over the top of these type of deep routes. So I actually think Diggs, he certainly wouldn't have done that. I actually think he'd have been able to get over to this late. Do you remember the Rams play where he made the interception on like a high thrown ball
against Baker?
It was Baker, right?
Yeah.
That's crazy. No, I don't think that was this exact thing, but it's kind of an example of how he's able to track the ball high and also just read guys who come open and clear stuff up on the back end. Yeah, which is what you want your high level deep safeties to do.
Indeed. Yeah, 42 is wasting a lot of time and space here. Stuff that Diggs didn't do.
Because technically here, this is the route to cover. So 42, great job, right? But the QB's looking here, and this is the dangerous route for the coverage when you're going to undercut it. And Diggs would be able to sweep that up. And he had really cool ways of opening his hips and running to get depth and then track the ball and get to it.
Yeah.
Like almost bailing into just crazy territories, but based off route reads. Honestly, a study of how you can move on the back end, which again is why it's, you can talk about how much he was paid and everything. He was paid a lot, and you understand in some ways the decision to move on from him. But he was a damn good safety. You just didn't see a lot of it on the broadcast,
Mm-hmm.
and it kind of hurts still. Anyway, this is really interesting coverage that they run, Griff.
Yeah, what's going on here?
Like cover two, like straight cover two at the bottom.
Yeah.
Are they just playing four at the bottom but with a disguise?
Yeah.
Two read. So the way this corner plays. Yeah, I think so. I think if this guy's out within three, Griff, he's look, because he gets his eyes to the one as soon as this guy's gone 3 yards up.
Mm-hmm.
But then is he just reading for the snap? No, I think it's like this the Salah thing, right? Where they jump 3 out within 3 yards. 2 out within 3 yards.
Mm-hmm. Could be.
Anyway. But again, Jenkins with experience in a variety of coverages. All right. We could watch a whole game, but we'd probably be doing this for 3 hours. Let's stop it there. And then hopefully we won't get in trouble with the people who control the film. Griff, any takeaways from that film that have reassured you or further encouraged you or maybe changed the perception?
I mean, that was a really solid game from him.
Yeah.
I did watch it, but I think I memory hold it.
What does that mean? You forgot it.
You forgot it. It's an internet way of saying I forgot it. I mean, he's a good player. He's a solid player. He's an above average safety, I would say. You can't stick him on George Kittle and expect him to like erase him. But he can do a lot of different things. His specialty is his versatility. So you can use him a lot of different ways, and he'll give you solid assignment, correct play, and help the scheme function. He's one of those players that are not intended to be a star, but how good those players are matter. And he's of those class of safeties across the league, he's one of the better ones. So like Julian Love was never intended to be a star. I'm not holding that against him, but like he needs to be, I think he can be, he needs to be a better version of himself. I feel like what that would be is basically what Jenkins is. So in theory, if Love gets up to speed with where we want him to be paired with Jenkins, I mean, you might have a good safety duo. Maybe, but
yeah, I think the like we're not disregarding what Jenkins does and what he just showed there. It's more the fact also that the finding a guy who can play really good safety in the deep areas, like we spoke, how I just spoke about what Quandre Diggs was able to do. That is, there's even less of them in the league, right?
Mm-hmm.
I think Jenkins, in theory, is an easier player to replace, which is why he got the contract he did, and why he was available, and why Jacksonville chose to release him, and all that type of stuff. Right. Well, good stuff, chat. Thank you so much for joining us. I was having a great time, and then something happened, which is bizarre.
No, they just feel a certain way, Matty, and
I can't see it. That's what I meant by bizarre. Like it's just weird.
It's weird that you can't see it.
Wash Farm, thank you so much for the donation again. It's a new name to add. Look, how are we going to squeeze Wash Farm on there, Griff? Just about. It's getting tight on the thank you overloaders graphic.
We can always have a second graphic.
Oh my gosh, a second graphic? You think I can do that? Oh, look, I can do it. Okay. Right. Griff, anything you want to promote?
Just, world peace.
That is
Trade for CJ
a good.
Mosley.
So, in what order would you like that? Would you like CJ Mosley or world peace? What's more important to you?
What's that Steve Martin bit where he's like, I want all the children of the world to join hands in harmony, that I want $30 million written out to me every month.
Excellent.
You know what I'm talking about?
No. Follow Griff on Twitter at CMikeSpinMove. Follow me at Matty F Brown. Follow the pod at Seattle Overload. I'm sorry that we went live tonight rather than Friday. Just worked out with our schedule, but appreciate so many of you being here again. Massively love you guys, and thank you for so much chat interaction. It's always cool, and particularly the usual names. It's great to have you. Seahawksontape.com. Either tomorrow or Saturday, there will be the Mike Macdonald mic'd up thing. Monjombo, thank you for the good luck message. That is, big game for me on Sunday. I mean, we'll see. I'm hopeful. My players are doing a great job. We had a good practice, so let's get it. We'll be back next week. We can do Leonard Williams film breakdown. We can do new free agents breakdown as well. And there'll be Seahawks news, I'm sure of it. We haven't even got into Griff's demented, crazy trade. Griff, you've raised your eyebrows at demented. Don't worry, we're not going to go there. Any trade theories, which I'm sure we can do. And heck, Devon Lloyd, the stuff we saw just then, that looked intriguing. So maybe we need to start just scouting linebackers around the league. CJ Mosley as well, who Griff mentioned.
Maybe.
All right.
Yeah.
Have a good evening, everyone.
All right. Peace out.